Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. And each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. If you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel. Keep me off the ball, I run it back.
Deploy the personnel. Yeah, we certainly wouldn't want to let our opponent know what that looks like, but we'll have plenty of good players that will play in the game, and we'll maximize the guys that we do have.
Is one of those guys potentially Sheridan Backway? Is he someone that can maybe get some looks on offense?
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly a talented player. I mean, he returns punts. He's someone that's familiar with having the ball in his hands, and so he's a guy that yeah, like I said, we'll kind of explore all options, relative to who's on the roster and how we can best maximize those guys for the game. And certainly he's somebody that, like I mentioned, has familiarity with having the ball in his hands.
With justice in the portal, does it feel like Richard Young is really ready to take this next step and become a focal point in this offense?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of trust in Richard, and he's maximized the opportunities that he's had so far this fall. And yeah, we have full trust and confidence, with him in the game to do his job and do it at a high level.
I just ran into this guy at the gas station. You wouldn't believe what he said to me. He said, Pace, I've been following you for a couple of years, and I'm so excited to maybe do.
So looking past just this bowl game, but in the future with Mbakwe in terms of what he can do offensively, like, have you guys started those discussions yet, or where's that at?
Well, I think it's a little early to really, have kind of a crystal clear vision of what that would look like, other than we know that, he's a talented kid. He loves this place, and we're glad that he's here, and so what that looks like in the future, ultimately the players decide what their roles look like and by what they do in practice and in the off season and those types of things. But yeah, we're excited about, the potential of him, having an opportunity to get the ball in his hands. Like I said, he's somebody that's returned kicks for us already. This is not something new to him as far as that goes. And so, yeah, time will tell, but yeah, we're excited that he's here.
With the portal being ever present and trying to game plan for a bowl game, what's your workload like? And how difficult is it to try to compartmentalize and make sure that you're able to accomplish both?
We don't really look. I mean, everybody has challenges in their job, and so you just attack it. And I really choose to focus on the guys that are here, and there's a lot of great kids and a lot of great players, and so we don't. We respect everyone's decision. These are the rules, that is happening right now in college football, and everybody's situation is different, and we have respect for that and appreciation for, what they've done during their time here. And I think everybody recognizes what the situation is and the timing of it for bowl games, and so just manage it the best you can. And super excited about the guys that will be available and that will be playing in the game. And we wish players that have left our program, we wish them the very best too. And that's just the reality of it. We care about these kids, we love on these kids, and we want them to be happy, and we want them to have the opportunities that they're looking for. And so that's just what it is, in today's college football. And so we don't look at it as challenging. I mean, it just is what it is, and focus on the guys you have and get them ready to go play in the game.
What have you seen from Daniel Lewis and kind of how he's grown over the course of his career here? And also, how important is it for you guys to have him back?
I think Danny's somebody that has, size and length, in the C gap, and the ability to block, the C and D gap. And I also think he's somebody that has, a big catch radius, strong hands, friendly target for the quarterback. And so I think he's continued to improve. I think Coach Ellis has done a great job. I think some of the older guys that are in that room have just, enhanced, the quality of the room from top to bottom. And so I know he's excited for, opportunities in the future. He'll have to earn those, but certainly there's great opportunities for him. And he's played good snaps for us this fall, against good people in critical moments, and has done well in the roles that he's had.
Not the first time you'll coach against your alma mater,
Yeah.
but what is that like for you?
I mean, this will be the seventh time, So I think what, this sport, it's really about people. And so I'm excited for our players on our team, to have an opportunity to have, two, very tradition-rich programs get a chance to compete on a national stage. And so I would tell you that it's not, at this point, it's, it was a long time ago when I played there. There's been a lot of transition. I certainly know people that are still there, know coaches on their staff. But when the ball gets kicked off, you're competing and you enjoy that competition and you respect your opponent and the quality of not just players, but coaches that you're going against. And that's really what you look forward to, is the competition.
You've asked Kalen this a couple times, but from your perspective, what separates Keelan Russell as kind of a prospect, as a quarterback, as a guy, and then I guess what's kind of the game plan in terms of when he gets here to, kind of get in the ground running?
Well, there's no freshman that we bring here to wait. They're all, every freshman that we bring them in here to compete right away. And, some positions that's more challenging than others. But, we're going to try to get them, as ready as we can, as quickly as possible. That's no different for any player in our program, as we're trying to get them to play their very best each and every day. And so for a freshman, that's not that different of a process than for an upperclassman that's looking to take the next step or have an increased role. And I think the thing, like all great players, is always the character of the person. I think he's got very good leadership. He's a good kid, loves to compete. He's confident, he certainly has the traits of somebody that you'd be excited to add to your program. And he knows he's got to earn it, and that's ultimately how you develop the trust amongst your team and amongst your teammates, is by what you do, not by what you say.
On the quarterbacks, is there a specific number you guys like to have on the roster, or does it kind of depend just on the situation?
No, I mean, everybody would ideally have 4 scholarship quarterbacks. So is that always going to be the case? I think every situation year to year is a little bit different. We've had years where there's been 3. We've had years where there's been 5, but ideally you try to have 4 to have a healthy competitive, room, 1 in each class typically, but it doesn't mean that you have to, and so I think at any position you have an ideal number that you'd like to have the depth and the competition that you're looking for. And yet some years there's maybe 1 or more at another position, and you just kind of manage that and try to make your roster top to bottom as competitive and as deep as you can.
Last 2 for Coach.
Kind of off that, just the depth of wide receivers kind of shrunk a little bit to the transfer portal. What have you really seen from like Rico Scott?
Yeah, I think Rico's a really exciting young player, and I know he's excited for the opportunity, and we're excited for him, and we have a lot of trust and belief in him. He's a player that, even throughout his time here in scrimmages and opportunities where he's gotten out there, he's done a real nice job. He's made plays. He's executed at a high level. He's dependable. Even in the games that he's gotten into, he's done a nice job. And so he's a tough, smart, dependable young football player that I think is really excited about the opportunity.
What do you, obviously, there could be some movement in terms of, guys going to the NFL on the offensive line, things like that. But what's kind of the game plan from a coaching perspective at kind of furthering the depth of options on the offensive line?
Well, you're exploring everybody's familiar with the avenues that you have to, add players to your roster. Certainly you have the high school, route, where you sign high school players. And then there's obviously the portal where you're exploring those, players that are in and deciding whether or not, they can help your team. And so that's really the two main ways that you kind of identify it and look at it. And just like every position, we're, around the clock evaluating that and who's available and do they, fit from a culture standpoint? Do they fit from an ability standpoint to help your team?
Thanks, y'all.
Obviously, this is the time of year where you try to make your roster, in the best position possible to go compete in the 25 season. And so, there's always a lot going on because you're obviously you're getting yourself ready for this bowl game. And then, obviously with the transfer portal, you're doing a good job of having great communication with your current players and then trying to acquire great talent, out of the transfer portal. And so Kelby's a guy that a number of us had a relationship with before, Freddie Roach in particular, and Alabama guy that has had production in the SEC, and looking forward to seeing what he does with us.
From what you've seen of him, does he look like a bandit or a wolf?
Yeah, I think he'll be a bandit for us. Play the field defensive end position, and he's a big man. I mean, and so it'll be exciting to kind of get out there and work with him. And obviously, when you go through this, you watch tons of tape, anything that you can get your hands on, just to see what the guy's skill set would be. And then you talk to a million people and try to figure out exactly, where you place him. But I think guys like that are big frames that are still developing, I don't know if we want to put him into any one box in particular. That's where he will start. And then to me, it's, wherever he helps the team best.
At that spot, just how much conversation have you had with Jamarian and LT about what they're...
Most people have no idea that the best way to make money on Amazon
LT, stay at that position in the field. And then the nice thing about Zebo, Jamarian, he's been going back and forth playing the wolf position and, the bandit position, which has been huge for us. I mean, it was a lifesaver the last two games, being able to have him, play both positions, and athletically, even though he's 280 pounds, right? The dude can move in space. He can drop under one to the boundary as a buzz dropper and do a lot of things for us. So a lot of value when you have guys that can play multiple positions. And then to me, like that's the same thing, creating value for guys at the next level in the NFL, right? Is, they only get to carry 53 on their roster and whatever it is, 48 dress. You better be able to play multiple things. And so I think that's part of my job as a coordinator to create value for these young men.
So is that the expectation that they'll both be back for next year at the moment?
Well, we're having all those conversations right now, but certainly those guys love Alabama and we want what's best for them. And I think they want what's best for us as a football team. And hopefully those things all match up.
Obviously some movement at the Husky position as well. I mean, what have you seen during the whole practice of kind of what the future of that position is?
Well, I think, again, I mean, these are the times right now, like spring ball will be like this, fall camp will be like this, even more so than it was in year one. But this is the first glimpse that you really get to start moving guys and working multiple positions to create depth, and I think that's the name of the game now in college football is, never again are we going to have maybe the same depth that you have always expected to have based off of the transfer portal and the way things work nowadays. And so with that, we've got to do a great job of identifying guys that can play, the Husky position and the corner position, the rover position and the Husky position. And so to me, there's a number of guys right now that can do that. And we've already seen that, right, with Deshaun Jones. So Day-Day's doing it. Red Morgan is doing it, playing a little bit of corner as well. And then, I think some of these other guys that we're looking at, be it freshmen, be it guys on our current roster, and then also needs in the transfer portal that we're looking at to, just to fit all the pieces the right way.
Does that position lend itself more to a safety or a cornerback, or does it just depend on?
It's a great question, and it's kind of the thing. It's been the evolution of the defense. So, like when my dad, kind of was one of the originators of the 4-2-5 defense, you went from a Sam linebacker to the natural pull was to go to a safety, right? And then over the years, because the team's spreading the ball out and creating perimeter, game sometimes, and if you're playing man coverage, that's a little bit more of a nickel that has been a corner. But it's a unique skill set. You got to be able to do a little bit of both.
What have your conversations been like over the weekend with Jalen Blackway and his future? Obviously announcing that he's staying in Alabama for the next year.
Yeah, I think really excited. I think this is a time where there's a lot of people, a lot of voices out there, all those things. I think Jalen did what Jalen wanted to do, which he chose Alabama out of high school, and he chose Alabama now, and we're happy to have him.
Coach, with the roster dwindling down to like 65 players for the upcoming ball game, can you just talk about any guys that have just stepped up in practice, any position group, or any just player that didn't get a lot of playing time during the season, but just getting their opportunity now in the ball game with more snaps coming up?
The guy that I think has really done a nice job, and we've seen him trend in the right direction all season long, is Xavier Mincy.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll see his role continue to grow within our defense, within the bowl game preparation, and then beyond that. So very excited about him and what he's doing. There's a number of young DBs that I think are going to be expected to step up in certain ways. But this is a fun time for me because you're developing players at each level, one, to have positional value and carry over, two, to be prepared for this bowl game, and then three, you get a little glimpse at what we have going into the 2025 season. So really exciting time to kind of maybe play with a guy here versus there and mess around with a couple techniques.
On the note of people playing at multiple positions, that Jalen and Blackway think there's going to be some kind of chatter about maybe him seeing some offensive reps. Just after seeing what he can do with the ball, I know you're on the defensive side, but do you think that his skills kind of translate over as well? And what do you feel about that?
I think Jalen Mbakwe is a great football player, And wherever he plays on our team, he makes our roster better.
Going back to Mincy, how would you describe his skill set?
Mincy is what's exciting, and this is something that, I think Coach Saban tried to identify and do. It's something that we try to identify and do is you always want to get great coverage DBs, and then you figure out where they go. So, here's a dude that's 6'2", he's over 200 pounds now. He has great coverage skills because he's played a corner position his whole career, and now he's moved to the safety position. He has the physicality. He has the ability to diagnose, which certainly the safety position makes a lot more checks in communication and all those things. And then he's got a natural feel for when the ball's in the air as a post safety or a drop-in safety or all that stuff. So, I mean, to me, the sky's the limit for him, and I'm really excited to what I have seen from him thus far in the safety position.
How many of the receivers are the incoming receivers are here already, and is it hard to kind of maybe scout with such a limited number? I mean, do you have enough people to be scout team receivers?
We'll figure the numbers out and all that stuff. For me, from a defensive standpoint, I'm trying to make sure we get our roster right in a good position. So I couldn't tell you that I've seen exactly where all the wide receivers are going.
Like scout team receivers, do you have enough? Like, are you just do you have bodies for that?
We'll have enough. I mean, there is some give and take, right? And so you got to look at even maybe some of the models moving forward that the NFL does when they have a more limited roster. They go more service periods, right? We might do a jog through period, whereas in the middle of the season we would have gone, full on good on goods, or full go against the scouts. So those would be the little nuances that you may have to tweak. But at the end of the day, I mean, we certainly have enough bodies to practice and get what we need done.
Inside linebacker, just how big is it to have Jihad choose to play? And then also Justin Jefferson, Iron Bowl, I guess was his first time with the coach to helmet. Just kind of how did that go and moving forward?
Well, I think when a guy like Jihad that, has done what he's done this season, and certainly where his, where his value is, right, for an organization in the NFL coming up here soon, to say, I choose my team, I choose my teammates, I'm a competitor. I think it speaks to who he is as a young man. I think it speaks to the culture of this football program and this university, that this is a place that for a long time, no one individual has chosen themselves over the team on a consistent basis. And that to me is Jahad Campbell is a perfect example of that.
This
we've got a bright future in everything he does. So just poured a lot in this place, a lot of passion, a lot of want to, a lot of desire, a lot of things that I know the rest of our team really took from him and learned along the way. Questions?
What stands out about Kelby Collins, having a guy like that?
Yeah, versatility, just a guy that come in and do a lot of different things. Just add to a group that I think has good numbers, good competition, but he he's got his kind of niche too. Outside, inside, can do a little bit of both. Help add to what we want to be better at. Getting to the quarterback in different ways.
What was the 24 hours like with Jalen Mbakwe entering the transfer portal, him announcing coming back? What was that like for you? What were conversations like with Jalen?
Yeah, I mean, his conversation with me is that he wanted to come back. Really, it's not that complicated. First of all, I mean, the kid loves this place, and he's a great teammate. Works extremely hard. Obviously, we see what he is on the field. He's extremely versatile. We see him play defense. We see him do the things, the ball in his hands in a punt returner situation. So, and just I think that some guys just as they go through it, realize really what they want, and we just are in the world right now where that's what it is. So, and we're excited that he wanted to be here with us. Back out there going to work today. So,
what's your approach on integrating the new recruits who are already enrolled and can participate in the bowl practices?
Yeah, we have a few here already, that are with us that were out there today. It's exciting to see them and get a feel for them before we get into the off season. And so I know it's a great time for them too. They're fired up to be here. So yeah, we're incorporating them as they come in, and it's not just they're all here at one day. Just depending on their end of it, usually is when we'll incorporate them being part of our team. So it's exciting to have them here, learn a few things. Maybe that will carry over to when we get to be able to hit the field next spring.
You mentioned Bach's playmaking ability. Is there any thought to maybe using him on offense, and especially in the bowl game when you're so limited at
Yeah, we certainly are short there at wide receiver with injuries and some guys that entered the portal. So yeah, I mean, it's always been that way. We've been open to what he can bring to the table. I think as a freshman coming in, you're really trying to focus on doing one thing well. But this is certainly a time where we can look into that, figure that out. So he's again super talented. I think the one thing that sticks out with me when I talk about, you asked about punt returner, reference that, and I did too. A lot of guys, especially defensive guys, I know for me, the trust of putting the ball in their hands on a punt return, which is a lot of people running at you, making people miss, a lot of people converging on you all at once. Never really have felt, concerned about his ball security, right? Let's all knock on wood together on that one. Okay. But he just got that trust factor that you have with him, and it goes back to his high school days. So you're always looking at guys that can help you in the football field one way or another.
What's this experience with the transfer portal been like for you over the last 10 days or so?
Yeah, it's just day to day. I mean, it's the world we live in, and obviously the practice is even different. Just with less guys and depth at some places like normal, and other places where you got to mix and match groups, and so it's just it's the world we're in. You got to adjust, and the relationships. I think I've heard that you got to re-recruit your team and things like that. To me, you're recruiting your team all year long, and you're doing it through building relationships. And so you get to this point, there's conversations, Shoot, I have nothing but, respect and wish the best to the guys that are moving on. When I say I love being around our kids and that they gave us everything they had, I really mean that. And so, you want, and I know part of my philosophy is I want the place I'm at here to always be the place that they have a great experience, but not every place is a perfect fit, for everyone. And once you get there, sometimes you realize that. So you just got to keep rolling with it. And, I appreciate our staff for just staying the course, having built those relationships along with myself. And we go deep on that, not just the position coaches, but all coaches and even off the field staff. They've really done a good job to where I feel good about, who we have here, and we're focused on them and looking forward to finishing out the next 13 days or so. With the group we have, and then turning around and building the roster for next year.
With Damon Payne going to Michigan, is there any kind of concern that maybe, you guys got to change up your calls, or that any of those secrets will be shared?
Yeah, I think you always are thinking about that. That happens a lot, and whether it's coaches or players, but it's just, we'll certainly take that into consideration.
With the receivers, do you expect to only have 4, and how do you manage that in practice? And,
yeah, it's there. There's 4 scholarship guys. In practice, there's more guys that can be involved, and we just got to keep bringing more guys along with understanding the offense on a level to where they can step on the football field, and help us if needed.
Justice, a guy like Danny Lewis, to, enter the portal, come back. How have you seen him grow in your time here, as well as what could his role be for you guys heading into 2020?
Yeah, we graduated a lot of snaps at tight end with CJ and Robbie, and so the opportunity is really strong here, for the tight end position, and he certainly being an upperclassman, I think he understood that and kind of processed that a little bit more.
Who's coming in the driveway?
Actually, the reason why I think he really decided to come back, and he's got a skill set. I think when you take the size also added into it, some range, we just got to keep developing it. I do feel like, if there's probably 10 or 15 kids that have really developed and come along a long way since the first day we stepped on the field this spring, he'd certainly be one of them. And so more reps is going to be something that just helps him, become a better football player. So, he's pouring into that right now.
Justice in the portal, how excited are you and the staff to see what Richard Young can do, and what do you believe his impact will be on this ball game?
Yeah. Rich will, be ready to go just like he always is, and he's a strong running back, does a lot of things. We'll be excited, to have all of those guys, be incorporated into the game plan. Everyone else just, when they have someone leave at their position, more opportunities that you can take advantage of. So yeah, certainly excited to have Rich highlighted more, with more opportunities in practice and games to show everyone what he can do.
Coach Malachi, who are some of the guys that you've seen step up in that safety room and kind of prepare like they're going to be starting on against?
Yeah, it'll be kind of mix and match. This is just literally kind of here in the last, it's not like we've had a week or two to think this through and work through it. So, but it'll be the young guys, there's been some moving pieces that will probably I can expand on more probably as we talk here in the week ahead. We moved Zay Mincy as someone probably you're not even thinking about much, but a guy that has been moved to safety going back to mid-season. And, I think he's going to be a guy down the road that is, someone who will be counting on. He's getting more opportunities to get those reps out there. I could go on, there's more guys as well. So exactly who that will be and how that will play out, we've got to work through that here in the next week or two.
Losing Keon earlier in the year and then Malachi obviously just now happening. How does their leadership help prepare some of these guys for some of these opportunities they've got?
Yeah, it's been huge. Malachi in that room, just the demeanor and the fight, the grit that he's played with, I know has spread through the rest of the room, because the DB position as a whole was extremely young. You had these upper guys that you're talking about, these older guys, and then you had a lot of younger guys, and together they've really understood they need each other. One to learn from the older guys, and the other ones to have success on the field. Keon's out here, today, just out there trying to mentor. He's anxious to come back and us have a really good season next year when he's a part of it again on the field. So he's doing everything he can to coach these guys up and take advantage of every minute yet we have here in the 2024 season.
Coach, what's the leadership been like and sort of the response from the guys that maybe we didn't get what we want, but what have you seen on the practice field and just how fired up they are for this?
Yeah, it's extremely strong. I can't say enough about guys that whether they're captains, unity council, guys who are seniors and this is it, to guys that are probably leaning towards the NFL, and it says a lot about all of them wanting to come out and finish off strong. I think it goes back to them sticking it out and being the ones that stayed the course and believed in this place in the beginning back in January, and now them knowing that they need to finish what they started this season. That's a commitment you make when you're part of the football team here.
How much has a few weeks off helped Jaden Roberts?
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that's going to help him. A few weeks is better than nothing, and so you're out there today. Not as noticeable, I guess. Him bouncing around. He looked certainly better, and I think a lot of that will just be a full off season, to help him get really completely over the hump. But he's out there doing his thing, and you're never going to question the guy's effort. I can tell you that, his want to and his desire.
How much growth have you seen over the last 11 months from Austin Mack?
I made over 6 figures trading without even looking at.
There's a lot of guys that pour a lot into it. He's doing stuff on his own pretty much every day, and you pick an early morning time when we don't have a practice. He's doing something in some facility in here. You bounce around and you all of a sudden hear a ball being thrown or someone moving. He's one of those guys. He's a gym rat, and he's really reps. Right, I've said it kind of a lot of different times in a lot of different ways, whether it's staff and us and our reps or players. Reps, really help you gain confidence because the preparation leads to that. And so he's really come a long way. It's fun seeing him, take advantage of this, even the scout team reps he took, and just his ability to throw the ball where he wants it. And sometimes that's a great opportunity, because if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world, but you can keep honing in on your skills. So he did a lot this year to help those guys defensive with the defense, and I was getting more and more reps. So I'm excited about his future for sure.
Are you okay with the calendar being how it is, with the portal kind of running as bowl prep, or how would you change it if it were up to you?
I think you're always going to continue to try to tweak, and it's our obligation to try to continue to communicate as coaches, as in this profession, try to make it better. I don't know what the perfect answer is, because you think about semester starting for next year, but there's now playoff games going on, and there's bowl prep, and what's the level of those bowls that are being played with less guys and a part of it. So I think there's always, whether they're unintended, maybe not, what those consequences are going to be when you change something, but there's always more other things that come along with it. So I know it's a topic, certainly us coaches in different circles continue to talk about and try to come up with some answers or better solutions. But yeah, it's certainly a lot to handle, but that's what we got, a staff that I feel really has experience, works together well. And so, in the midst of it, I feel like we're handling it about as well as you possibly can. When you talk about a high school class, your own roster, some additions that you're looking to bring in while getting ready for, another game. It's what we're here to do, as part of our job. And so don't really feel overwhelmed by it in any way. You just take each day and pour into it every way you can.
Kind of building off of that, in the middle of bowl prep, how able are you to kind of be involved in the recruiting of the portal? Or are you kind of relying on guys like Courtney and other people to kind of help in that area?
Yeah, it's certainly a team effort across the board. There's a role and everyone plays, and every guy, every situation is different. Of course, you think it's your position coach and coordinator. It's sometimes someone who the other side of the ball recruited 3 years ago. So every situation is different. It's got to be a team effort, on field staff, off the field staff. It's all hands on deck always. And, that's how it's going to be, whether it's the portal or recruiting high school prospects.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, chat. So hopefully y'all can hear me. I don't have my camera hooked up right now. We're packed up to get ready to hit the road. For anybody that's wondering what's going on here at the Coach Smook Network while we're doing the live like this today, well, I have a surprise for y'all, and I want you all to be excited about it because I will be on campus today, providing you all with some on-site coverage. And I think this is the one I had to choose. I had to choose between which I think you guys would enjoy more. And it was either yesterday's coaches post-practice interviews or today's player post-practice interaction and interviews. So I will be on campus getting you some up close and up personal interactions with the player availability for today. So if you all are looking to support that, at the bottom of the screen, you all know how we move when we go to Tuscaloosa. This is a time where we kind of just, we're moving a lot. We're moving around a lot. So if you want to help donate today, and you want to see it go directly affect the network and how we produce today, definitely go ahead and hit the Venmo, the Cashapp, and the PayPal today. All of those network donation options are available, and they are helpful. I got kids. I had to go and spend a little bag for Christmas, so anything would help today to make this production a lot more easier. I like to use my own mobile hotspot, so I usually buy fresh data. So we want to try to do that if we don't have good access to the campus Wi-Fi there at the facility. So I'm going to be looking forward to having fun with all of that today and providing that content with y'all. So if y'all are excited about it, run up some fire emojis in the chat, and hopefully even this format of doing a live stream, hopefully this helps y'all feel connected, unless y'all see the type of work that we're putting in here at the Coach Smook Network. With that being said, I'm not going to hold us up any longer. Just want to say thank you all for being who you are, and just being solid people. I appreciate you all for being just solid individuals and supporting the Coach Smook Network. Again, don't forget to like the stream on your way out, and don't forget to let everybody know that we will be live around 12:30. 12:30. And yeah, tell them Philip be on that flu-gazy stuff too, man. I don't mind calling you out, Philip. If you solid, some of the stuff some stuff just shouldn't be said. I don't care. But yeah, I appreciate everyone, y'all. And yes, we're gonna get this thing on the road today. And y'all, what's crazy is we are I think we're one follower away from 2.6K, y'all. We're one subscriber away from 2.6K on YouTube. Like, I literally just pulled the back office up, and we're one subscriber. Probably going to be 2 or 3 now, because we done had some clowns come through that you got to be subscribers to comment now on the channel. So they subscribe just to comment, and then they unsubscribe. So we've been having a little play with our numbers, but I think we're at a solid 2.6K plus that's actually rocking with us. So that's great news. Continue to grow, y'all. Continue to grow. What's up? Hey, Joe, can you call me? Can you call me once I get off live? And Jordan, I need you to call me. But with that being said, y'all, thank y'all for being here today. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And I'll catch y'all on the back end. I'll see y'all on campus here in a few hours. Love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting. And don't forget, if you're not a member of the AAA family, you might want to get that wristband, because that's how you're going to be able to see today's player interviews. And then we'll do our post-practice report for everybody. So glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community, because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. And each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight, that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. If you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.